Okay, so I know it's a pain in the buttocks, but if you've done it correctly, you can align them all pretty much how they were stock. The tricky one is going to be this last one here, because the last one you need to angle it so that way you can tighten it up from an angle. This one goes straight up and down, and then this one actually goes a little farther to the side like that. There you go. And then now you can tighten them, and you know they're seated well when you look inside, and you have a nice seal on all three. And the box actually sits down. We could go ahead and put this sensor back on. And now the air box is in. So now we're just going to button this up, and I'm going to show you. This is the stock air filter. It goes right in here. The customer actually already purchased the DNA filter, so we're going to go ahead and install that once it arrives, but we want to button it all up, turn it on, see how it sounds, and then go from there. But be careful with the wires, be careful with the fuel lines, make sure you have them all in order, because these are tricky to get back on. But we did put the oxygen one underneath. Don't forget about your top one. That's just a regular oxygen for the fuel. And then this is going to be a sensor that goes right above your air box, wherever it's at, I don't know. And then the computer goes plugged into there on the top of the air box. But we've already seated it. Now we're going to go ahead and tighten them all down. Make sure it's nice and tightened. And then we can tighten this top part with your screws. We're going to go ahead and do that. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We did have to tighten it. I know it's a little tedious to get on camera, but as long as you position them kind of how they were stock, you will tighten them nice. You can do a pull test. They're not going to pull out, and everything fits nice. Now, because we put on the old spacers, you might get a little noise when you're riding, but it's not going to deteriorate that part at all. It's just a little spacer that we needed for the clamp to hold on to, because the kit came with longer screws and the spacer is actually smaller, so we just went ahead and put on the stock spacers. We should have just left them out, but it is what it is. It's already on there. We put in the box. Remember, you have a sensor up here you need to pinch, you have a hose underneath you need to connect, and you have a computer in the front that you need to put the screws back in there. Make sure they are put on properly. Then 1, 2, 3 screws, tighten that down. It has 10 Phillips head screws, but we're still waiting on the air filter. Once we receive the air filter, then we'll be good to go. Now remember, you have a vent hose here for your tank. Make sure you route that properly. And then you have your fuel hose, one of your fuel hose right here. You have a secondary fuel hose right here. You want to position your clamp to where you can actually get to it with a needle nose or whatever when you install the tank. And then do not forget about your fuel pump plug, because then guess what? It won't turn on. Besides that, you just reroute these computer or the ECU wires into this respective holes. Slide it right up, and then just pinch it with these plastic tabs, and it will not go anywhere. And that is it. We've installed the KSP. You can see them there. KSPP velocity stacks. We did have to mod them because this is not made for this bike. Again, guys, warning, big warning on the screen. When you buy these, they will not fit the Yamaha Mt09. They are for the Tracer 900 and for the FZ09. Has a bigger air box than this one, but we did trim it to where it fits real nice. And all we need is to wait on that DNA filter so we can change the stock one and put in the new one. But again, the KSPP velocity stacks does not fit the 2024 Yamaha Mt09. We did it with mods, so we modded the crap out of everything. But it is in there, you guys can see. And that's going to end this installment of the velocity stacks. The box mod, remember, you can trim as high as you can, but please do not trim all the way up to the top, because you will damage your box. So that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to keep it intact, but at least you get a lot more airflow through there. There's no snorkels restricting air. But join us here for part 2 when it's actually tuned and is actually put all together, and let's get a sound bite afterwards. See you guys on the next one.